Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, things are starting to get tense, I believe. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and I think more and more of you, and I say that I think because this is just based on the comments that you leave in recent videos, and then the amount of emails that I'm getting, and then also the discussion over at TPH Network, our standalone social media site. I'm seeing a lot of people really strongly believe that we are on the verge of something big popping off. I talked yesterday about there was this. I sensed this feel in the media and amongst the sheep that they were experiencing a little lull in the excitement, and that's usually when something really happens. And I think a lot of people kind of feel that way. And there's certainly a lot of stuff going on right now that would lean that direction, that would give us the indication that something's about ready to happen. And we're going to talk about that here in just a minute, and some things that you need to be doing immediately to get ready for that. Before I get started, I had just mentioned the TPH network, and some of you may not have any clue what I'm talking about. We have created our own standalone social media site here for the Prepared Homestead. And that's what TPH stands for, the Prepared Homestead Network. And you can go there. It's tphnetwork.com. And there's also an invite link down in the description below. Either one will work. And it functions pretty much like Facebook. There's about 4,000 people over there right now, and it's a very active site. Like I said, it works very, very similar to Facebook. You can set up private groups, and there's a lot there already, 100 to 200 private groups set up, or just groups of different subjects. There's group chats, there's private chats. You can post all kinds of stuff. This is not run by any big company. It's run by me, and you don't have to worry about your information being collected and sold and spied upon, because it just doesn't work that way. It's I own the content of it, including all the data that's on it, and so it doesn't get out to anyone. And I want to encourage you to get over there and check it out. There's some really great discussions going on, people posting amazing information, intel, homesteading tips, prepping tips, just a lot of stuff, and it's a really good site to get on. I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back. I'm really blown away of how successful it's become, and how people are really using it and making connection. And that's the other thing. A lot of people are making connections out there, and finding out that there's other like-minded people that don't live too far from them. So please check that out, TPH Network. It's completely free. There's no cost to be part of it. I absorb all those costs. There is a donate button link on there if you wish to donate anything, but there is certainly no requirement or expectation of that whatsoever. So let's get into this. There's just a lot going on right now, okay? A lot. There's the Fed chair. He's talking about digital currency more, saying that they are investigating it right now, that they are looking into it, of making it happen. All the while, the Fed has increased the reverse repo to record high now of $1.8 trillion. I mean, that's just going to help the market, right? It's going to help the dollar. I mean, we've got a dollar that appears to be, in a downward spiral, and we're looking at 1.8 trillion on the reverse repo. A senior market executive, and this is out of a trading house, I believe, in India, and it's one of the largest in the world, where they do import and exports. And he is warning of a collapse of the import-export market. He said because of all this stuff that's going on with Russia and Ukraine, and the food supplies, and the backed up ships, and the whole supply chain problem, that it is on the verge of a complete collapse. And he's warning of that. It keeps getting worse. Russia has said that they are now, anyone that is buying their gas, their oil, or anything, unless they are a friend of theirs, that they have to purchase it in rubles, their own Russian currency, which has caused natural gas prices in Europe to jump 34% already, just in one day. Now you have to realize that since the war has started, natural gas prices have skyrocketed in Europe, way more than they have here. And on top of that already high prices that they've been paying for the last 3 or 4 weeks, they did another 34% surge. That's not good, folks. It's going to hurt a lot of people. NATO, I mean, the whole World War III scenario is just becoming more and more likely. I think many of us are in the position of we're actually surprised it hasn't really officially gone hot yet. NATO is deploying 4 more battle groups on the Eastern Front. Germany, I believe, is sending a bunch more anti-tank and plane artillery. The buildup there is quite significant. NATO is also sending chemical, biological, nuclear threat equipment, PPE, different things like that to Ukraine to help them prepare for what they believe is at the very least a possible chemical threat that Russia is going to use against Ukraine. Biden himself has said that chemical weapons threat is very, very real. And while no one has specifically said that if Russia used that against Ukraine, that would propel NATO and the West to finally jump in and do something, they definitely have alluded to that would be a game changer, that if he used chemical weapons in Ukraine, it would be a massive game changer. And regardless of where you stand in all this, whether you're for the Russians or for the Ukrainians, and I'll tell you this flat out, I'm for neither, because I don't see that either one of them are the good guy, and I think this is all just a big theater act for global dominance. You see 2 factions fighting for who's going to run the new world order. The further and further along this gets, and the more rhetoric from the West of calling Putin a war criminal, the State Department is saying that they believe with certainty that Russia has committed war crimes. The likelihood of this having a peaceful ending is becoming less and less likely. And the more that Putin gets pushed into a corner, it's like an injured rabid dog being pushed into a corner. If in fact the West is really going to come down hard on him, the things that he could do could be very bad. Speaking of that, cyber attacks, that's something we've talked about recently, and the FBI is warning that there's more intel, and it looks like that there's a potential for imminent cyber attack. They said that there are at least 5 major energy companies here in the United States that are experiencing not necessarily attacks, but it looks like that their systems are being scanned by hackers trying to figure out what they're explaining. It looks like the hackers are trying to figure out a way in. This is a major deal, and we talked about this the other day, that a cyber attack doesn't necessarily mean that Netflix goes down and you can't watch your favorite whatever show. It could mean that the grid goes down. It could mean that pipelines shut down. It could mean that refineries shut down. It could be a major disaster for us. And whether or not it's actually happening, there's a good chance that most of it is just all talk. There's a good chance that it's just an inside job, giving us the fuel that we need to go into war. So that's something that's happening and that's going on. So when you look at all this stuff, and this is all stuff that's just in the news today. This isn't stuff that's been talked about for the last few days. This is current stuff, and it's only a portion of it. There's certainly a lot more going on. It seems to be that we need to get ready, folks. I mean, I don't know how anyone else could look at it any other way. And this is what I talked about yesterday, is there's some imminent things happening, and we need to get serious. If something like a cyber attack happens, like I've mentioned, it could affect us immediately, instantaneously, and so we need to be ready for that. Make sure you have things like hard copies of any kind of data, personal information. Make sure you have it readily available, print it off, not backed up on a cloud or saved on your hard drive or anything like that. Make sure you have physical hard copies on paper. Talk to your family. A lot of you are in a situation where maybe you have older kids or parents or someone that the plan is that they would come to your place, or maybe you would go to their place. Talk about that plan, because if there is a cyber attack, communications could go down. You may not be able to communicate with them. So you need to have a plan in place that you just you just get in the car and go. And of course, that's also hoping that automobiles work, and most likely they would, unless there was a major EMP attack. You should be able to use your vehicles, but you need to have those plans in place, because if the grid goes down, or if communications go down, or both, you may not be able to communicate with your family of where you're supposed to go or when you're supposed to get there. So you need to have that plan in place. A plan might look like that if something happens, whatever that is, that throws the switch for your plan, that you just know that family are on their way, and you need to do that. Make sure your vehicles are ready to go. If you've been needing to put tires on your vehicle, you need to get ready and get those tires on your vehicle soon. Make sure that they're functioning and working, so that you can get to where you need to go. Keep things charged up, batteries, phones, different things. It's possible that some communications still might work. If the grid goes down, communications could work for a little while, but make sure you have things charged up, flashlights, fresh batteries, and plenty of batteries, and keep things charged for now. And along with that, it would help to have some solar chargers. They've come down in price, and you can get solar chargers pretty cheap. That's something I would certainly invest in. Things that have 20-watt solar panel can charge quite a bit. And you can get something like that to keep batteries and things charged up. And then last but not least, cash, silver, and gold. Have some cash on hand, because most likely it will work at least for a while, even under an economic collapse and a dollar collapse. And then also your silver and your gold, especially, and I'm a huge advocate for circulated junk silver. It's easily recognizable. Most everyone trusts what it is. They know what it is. Stuff pre-64 American silver, dimes, quarters, half dollars, that kind of stuff. Make sure you have that, because that's quite possibly going to be the currency that's traded for a lot of things. If the economy collapses, the dollar collapses, if there's a cyber attack, or if they switch quickly over to a digital currency, that's a really good backup. Yes, gold is great, and it's great for larger purchases, or just to kind of hold your wealth. But if you're needing to buy a loaf of bread from someone, it's kind of hard to do that with a 1-ounce gold piece. A little silver dime or silver quarter just might be the thing to do that. So certainly get some of that stuff if you haven't already. All right, folks. I have no inside intel to tell you that things are about ready to pop off. I can tell you that just what you look at on the news, and the feeling from so many people, the contacts I am getting intel from people that I'm not giving to you, because it's just stuff I can't confirm yet. But there does seem to be a growing sentiment that we are pretty much on the verge of something serious happening. So don't sit around and wait for it, folks. Be proactive and be ready for whatever's going to happen. This could become very serious very quick. And so don't let it catch you off guard. Folks, just get yourselves ready. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.